Hello, my name is Forrest. I am the coach for Snowpoint Capybaras, and today I'm going to show you my very first video on a Radical Red low-tier draft team that I made. This is the logo right in front of the Snowpoint City from Sinnoh region. And let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is what is Radical Red and the rules and complex bans for what's going on. Radical Red is a competitive heavy ROM hack made by Supercell. It is on the Fire engine. It has been upgraded called CFRU, and it pretty much changes the whole thing. It adds every single Pokemon with Megas, with Z moves. There's no Terra yet. They want to add that later, but it's a whole bunch of things added to it that I could not fit in this portion of the video. It would be a very long video if I did. The gist of it is a lot of Pokemon got buffed. Some of the weaker ones may have received a bit of a stat boost because that's all they needed to Mons getting entire stat boosts or move additions to abilities as well. I will be going over that. I have a few of them in this team that I'm going to be showing you guys that did receive some pretty nice solid buffs. As for the bans, excuse me, as for the rules and complex bans, this is going to be a low tier draft team, so Speed Boost Blaziken is not allowed. For example, as you see here, Samurott, no Shell Smash. Shell Smash is something Samurott gets in Radical Red. It does not get that in Vanilla. Delphox, no Magic Guard. It gets Mind Blown, and Magic Guard prevents the recoil of Mind Blown, so it's really deadly. It would just steamroll everything in low tier. The battle rules, obviously, it's pretty vanilla across the way. It's dry baton pass is legal, but you can't use it to pass stats. Baton pass is not. I don't think it's even in Radical Red itself, but when I looked it up on Radical Red Showdown, it shows it as a move that reduces your HP by 40 and then switches. So that might be new. I don't know. I don't use it. Evasion, one hit KOs, and Swagger and Sleep Claws apply. Evasion is not in the game at all. All of the evasion anything is pretty much banned. So like Sand Attack, it's not in the game. Mud Slap reduces attack. Flash reduces attack. Swagger Claws, I'm not gonna lie, this might be before, and this just might be some kind of rule that was put in from a while ago. In the past, Swagger was really powerful. You could Swagger someone's Pokemon, and it would confuse them, raise their attack stat, and confuse them. And if they hit themselves because of the raised attack stat, it would do some decent chip damage. Especially if it's a physical focus mon, it would suck. Sleep Clause means only one Pokemon asleep. Sleep is really, really strong. It even got banned completely in Vanilla Smogon OU ladder. So you can't even bring sleep at all because a lot of people will say it's just really not fun. Um, but yeah, abilities. Moody is banned. Moody is pretty much, for those that don't know, is a ability that randomly changes a Pokemon's stat going up and down at the same time. This could lead to some really annoying things. In the past, it could also raise your evasion stat and then lower maybe special attack, but you have a physical mon, so now it's just ridiculous. It was just not fun. It was very RNG heavy and no one liked it. They tried to not ban it after it lost the chance to remove evasion, and it was still just stupid. So they just kept it banned in vanilla ladder, and it's also banned here. Snowcloak and Sandville are banned. Trapping is banned, so no arena trap, for example. Terrain surges like Misty Terrain and Psychic Terrain are banned, and there's no weather ability, so you can't use Drought or Drizzle. Sorry, Pepper Pepper, you're not going to be picked. That's the entire reason why you were picked. Moves, Last Respect, Shedtail, Draco Barrage, Hidden Power, Gen 1 Being Clones, and Dark Hole are all banned. So, Draco Barrage is a Radical Red move that was added. It allows Dragon types to. It's a Dragon type move that can hit fairies for neutral damage, and it also takes the strongest attacking stat and uses that instead. So, say if you have a Guzzlord that's special attack focus, it will use a special attack stat. And if you have a Dragapult who is physical attack focus, Dragapult, it will then use Dragapult's physical stat instead. So it's very, very powerful because it can just fit on any dragon going forward, and that's banned. Hidden Power is also in Radical Red, and everyone can learn it. And In that Dex, I don't think Hidden Power can be taught to the Gen 9 Pokemon because they don't learn it. It was removed in Gen 8. So Gen 8 and Gen 9 Pokemon cannot learn it. But it's just flat out banned completely because it's pretty overpowered for those that can utilize it, and it's not really fair to physical attackers that can't use something similar. Gen 1 Beam Clones, it's referring to Blast Burn, Frenzy Plant, and Hydro Cannon. Those are starter special moves. In Radical Red, they were powered up to 160 base power, and if it gets a kill, it will. It doesn't need a recharge. So it generally needs a recharge, but if it takes down a Pokemon, it will not need a recharge, and it's pretty busted. And Dark Hole is a Radical Red exclusive move. It is a 100 base power Dark move that has a 40% chance to sleep. So we talked about how sleep can be pretty annoying. That would be pretty annoying because 40% is a high number. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the rules of this draft. I'm going to go ahead and move on down. And like I said, this is a low tier Radical Red draft, so I will not be using Pokemon like Komomo or Dragapult. We'll be using lower tier Mons, and I will explain my picks and why I picked them. And let's go ahead and get started. So the first pick is Rotom Heat. All of the Rotom forms got buffed because Rotom Wash totally needed a buff, right? Um, they got a buff to their move pool, so it's already had Overheat before, but now it gets Flamethrower, Heat Wave, and Heat Wave. So these are a lot more reliable because Overheat will reduce its special attack by 2 if it's used, and it's not 100% accurate. It can have a chance to miss. The other Rotom forms, Frost gets like Freeze Dry and Ice Beam. I think Grass. I know Grass gets Energy Ball and Giga Drain. I don't know if it gets Chloroblast, so I would have to double check that maybe in the near future. Um, Wash gets Scald and Surf because it totally, like I said, it totally needed a buff. It's not like everyone wants to go for it. It also gets Shadow Ball. It's only a good coverage move. It also gets Dark Pulse, but Shadow Ball and Dark Pulse they kind of hit similar. They both hit Ghost and Psychic for super effective, so I just threw Shadow Ball in there because it did come from a Ghost type originally. Nasty Plot would be useful if against a slower team. So if you take down some of the speedy ones, Rotom can use Nasty Plot and kind of go crazy with its already pretty decent-ish special attack. Pain Split for recovery. Thunder Wave, Will-O-Wisp, Toxic. Thunder Wave will cut the speed in half and has a chance to prevent the Pokemon from moving. It's pretty good against possible setuppers that are special attack oriented. Will-O-Wisp will burn physical attackers and make them pretty much useless unless they have a berry to remove that or some kind of move like Aromatherapy. Toxic is good for Pokemon that Rotom might have issues with attacking with its Sab's Electric Fire. This way it can hit it with Toxic and then full switch out to someone else or just whittle it down the best it can. And of course it gets Defog. Defog was the primary reason why I went for Rotom so fast. I had a bit of a team in mind that I wanted to build around, and I needed Defog for sure. I should also mention it has Electric Fire as its typing. Electric Fire is actually pretty nice. They both cover each other's weaknesses. So Fire covers Grass that Electric can't hit really well, and Electric covers Water that Fire can't hit really well. It also does get Levitate, so Levitate means it will not be hit by ground attacks as shown here. That's really good because ground types would otherwise steamroll it very easily because it's Electric Fire. It's a 4x weakness, and we do not want that for our poor Rotom. So it's also able to switch in on ground types safely, and then potentially Will-O-Wisp them, as most ground types tend to be physical. So that helps out too as well. But yeah, that's my first pick. I was really happy to get it. I think I was number 3 on the pick board, so getting him was pretty nice. Our second pick is Floatzel. So Floatzel has a few changes to him in Radical Red. His attack stat actually went down from 105 to 90, and you might be thinking that sucks, right? That's oof. That's kind of a death sentence if that happened to anyone else. But it got Technician. So Technician, as you see here, boosts moves with less than 60 base power by 50%. That's pretty nice for what Floatzel is, because Floatzel's moveset is pretty stacked for what it can do. It gets Surging Strikes, which is originally a move that only Urshifu Rapid Strike could learn. So Surging Strikes is really huge because it's a constant critical hit move that hits 3 times at base power of 25. So that gets boosted by 50%, and then the critical hit, of course, added on top of that, it does a lot of damage. It's a great late game sweeper. When people are already pretty low, if Pokemon are low, down by like 50%, Floatzel's going to hit them pretty well. It also has a base speed of 115. Now, again, this is low tier draft, so speed stats are going to be a little bit all over the place, but I think Floatzel is one of the definitely higher speedy ones. I didn't go through every single, showing. I didn't go through every single Pokemon speed stat to be like, oh, this one definitely has speeds. I mean, there will be some that outspeed it, but in terms of like raw power right off the bat, there's not that many. So it also gets Wave Crash. The off chance that I have to go Water Veil, Wave Crash can be there. It's pretty much Flare Blitz for water types. It hits for 120 base power. The problem is that it also takes 30, I think it's 33% recoil, so it can only be used so much before it just kind of destroys itself. Its most valuable ice type move is Ice Spinner. It hits dragon types pretty effectively for 80 base power. It also removes terrain, but terrain is not going to be. I don't think terrain is illegal, as we've seen in the rules page slide, so we don't have to worry about that. It's pretty much just there just to cover for dragons that might be wanting to sit on top of it, because dragons are resistant to water strikes. So Brick Break for its fighting stab in case they throw in like a steel type and I need to hit Brick Break. Power Up Punch is Technician boosted. When you hit with Power Up Punch, your attack stat goes up for the next turn. So that's pretty nice for not only getting a decent hit with Power Up Punch with the Technician boost, but also getting that next big power spike later on the next turn. And it gets bulk up in case I need to. In case I'm up against a physical heavy team, I can set a bulk up, and they can't really do much to Floatzel. Well, Floatzel goes crazy with Starting Strikes, now boosted with its attack stat by 50%. Our third pick is Mega Glalie. Now, originally I wanted Mega Butterfree, but Mega Butterfree is bug flying, and trying to get I feel like I had to make a team way more focused on it. And while Glalie does have weakness to rocks, it's not as much as what Butterfree. Butterfree would take half its health on a stealth rock switch, and it would suck. Also, another reason why I chose Glalie is because it has received several buffs, both in its attack stat and its moves. So I'm going to go over them. Its ability Refrigerate, normal moves become Ice type, and the power is boosted by 20%. That's really, really nice. So Return, it typically has a base power of 102, and that's going to be boosted by 20%, and it's turned into an Ice type. So that's a really nice, reliable physical Ice type move. Its attack stat was buffed from 120 to 135. To compensate, its special attack was reduced from 120 to 105. That's no big deal. We're not gonna stress about that. Its bulk is 80 across the board. HP, defense, and special defense are all 80. It's not bad, honestly. I mean, it could be better, but it's for what Glalie can do. I think it's pretty fine, especially in low tier when there's not gonna be that many heavy hitters right off the bat. We'll go over that later. Notable moves, it gets returned. Now, Quick Attack, Explosion, Body Slam, Fake Out, Freeze Dry, Earthquake, and Crunch. Quick Attack and Fake Out are actually new to it. Quick Attack is, before then, its primary stab move for priority was Ice Shard, but Quick Attack has the same base power as Ice Shard, except it's boosted now by Refrigerate. So that's pretty nice. Fake Out is a more niche move. It's not really used much because in a singles format, you generally don't want to use this move because the problem is that it can only be used once, and this is the first time that Mega Glalie on the field. So you have to hit it first. You have to hit Fake Out first, and then you have to hit him with another move. So after that, you won't be able to use it anymore. But that's fine. It'll come in handy for some niche case scenarios. Like say I'm against a Zygarde that uses Dragon Dance. Well, now it's boosted its attack stat and its speed stat, so it's gonna be outrunning Mega Glalie. But that's no problem. I hit Fake Out, hit it for 4x, and then finish it off with Quick Attack. It's, like I said, it'll be a niche situation. It's no big deal to have it during the situations because, it's good insurance. Freeze Dry, it's a special attacking ice move that's super effective against waters, but I don't think I would really bring it much unless they're, like, heavy on the the water mons. Maybe if they have 6 Swamperts, and I don't want to deal with that. And of course, Earthquake and Crunch are its only real coverage moves. So, but they're good moves. Earthquake's good. Crunch is for those pesky Psychic and Ghost types. Return's probably going to be way better than crunch in most situations, but Earthquake can hit steel types that Glalie might struggle against. Before I move on, Explosion is back to reducing the enemy's defense by half. However, its BP is reduced down to 150, and I believe that's how it was in Gen 1 too. Um, it's still a lot of damage. It's 300 base damage plus the refrigerate because it's normal, so nothing can switch into Explosion. They can resist it, but if I click Explosion, something's taking a lot of damage, even if it resists it. So that's pretty nice. It also allows me to safely switch in, say, Floatzel or another mon on this list to come in safely without having to worry about them taking a hit because I switched Glalie out to them. Our fourth pick is Hitmonchan. Hitmonchan has also received a few buffs. Iron Fist now boosts punching moves by 30% up from 20%. Its attack stat buff went up from 105 to 115. And this thing could take any buff, honestly, because it was kind of lacking. It was arguably the weakest Hitmon Pokemon. Everyone always preferred Hitmonlee or Hitmontop, especially for VGC, because Hitmontop was really... It had Fake Out and Intimidate. Hitmonlee just has really good moves like High Jump Kick, Unburden. You can do like Endure, Lychee Berry, Unburden, and just go crazy with it. And Hitmonchan got nothing. It was pretty far behind. So that's pretty nice. Notable moves, if it has the word punching in it, it can learn it. I learned that it can get Jet Punch too. That has to be very recent. I haven't really used Hitmonchan at all in Radical Red yet. I'll go over more of how I play Radical Red later, but yeah, it gets Jet Punch, so that's pretty nice. But yeah, like I said, if it says Punch, it gets it. It does also know Sucker Punch, but Sucker Punch is not boosted by Iron Fist. I know there are some ROMs out there that include it as a punching move, but the thing about Sucker Punch is that it's not, in the Japanese wording, it's not a punching thing. I think it means like ambush or something. I just remember it's not like a literal punch, pretty much. It just means like some kind of weird Japanese ambush word that they used. Close combat's nice for immediate high heavy power fighting moves. Rapid Spin is there to help get rid of Stealth Rock. Now the cool thing about Hitmonchan is that it resists rock types, so I don't have to go heavy duty boots to remove, say, Stealth Rocks. This allows me to be a little more flexible on items. Say I want maybe Leftovers or Assault Vest for heavy special attacking mons. Life Orb just to throw down harder with it. I'm trying to think of another item. But yeah, those are pretty much probably the main items I'm going to use. Heavy Duty Boost will come in handy if I go up against, say, a Webs user or a Toxispice, because then at that point I don't want to risk it and have it whittled down from a poison that could have been avoided. Rapid Summon also increases Hitmonchan's speed by 1, so you can kind of surprise people. You go Rapid Spin into the Stealth Rocks and you hit Drain Punch and just do a lot of damage and heal up. It also gets Knockoff, which is great because it's pretty much its only coverage. It's one of its only coverages to Psychic and Ghost types that would be annoying to it. If they switch in, say like I'm throwing against a Chansey, for example, obviously they're not going to keep Chansey in for a Drain Punch, so they're probably going to swap to a Ghost, and then I just hit Knockoff, and now that Ghost took a lot of damage. And like I said, it does get Sucker Punch just to finish off any speedy Ghost that would be annoying to it. Trailblaze is nice too. It's a grass move that is similar-ish to Rapid Spin. It doesn't remove terrain. It doesn't remove hazards, but it increases its speed by 1. So it'd be nice if I'm like I said, if I was against like a Swampert or a Gastrodon, I could use that and knock them out or do a lot of damage, and now I have the +1 speed for anything else coming through. Toxic for those Pokemon that I might have issues with, say Turtonator, it gets Valiant Shield, and there's no way that Hitmonchan's going to be able to take it down with what it has, so Toxic is there to threaten it. It's just a nice threatening point to have in case I just feel like it's going to have issues taking down certain Pokemon. And of course, Bulk Up. It also gets Swords Dance. I didn't put that on here. I forgot to put it on here, but it does get Swords Dance. Maybe I can run like a Rapid Spin Swords Dance thing and just go crazy. But its main job is probably just going to be hazard removal and then do some chip from there. Duraludon is my 5th pick. I was pretty excited to get this one because Eviolite makes this thing a beast of a tank. Heavy Metal doubles its weight. Stalwart is useless in singles. I'm honestly surprised it didn't get any changes in Radical Red. But yeah, it's really good in VGC if you're against a Follow Me user, because it'll ignore the Follow Me, and that's like the one and only counter to Follow Me right now. I hope they nerf that move next gen, please, Game Freak. But yeah, notable moves: Draco Meteor, Dragon Pulse, Flash Cannon, Heavy Slam, Steel Beam. Steel Beam is a pretty. It's not used much. It's like Mind Blown. It deals a lot of damage as a Steel type, but it also recoils for like 50%. So we probably won't be bringing that much. It gets Thunderbolt, which is pretty nice, just to hit those flying types and water types. Dark Pulse, Snarl, probably not going to bring Snarl much, honestly. That's more of a VGC thing, most likely. Body Press, Iron Defense, Toxic, and Stealth Rock. Stealth Rock is probably it's going to be the only user on my team that has Stealth Rock, so it's probably always going to bring it out just for that pressure and make him like waste a turn trying to get rid of it. What's really cool about Duraludon is that it's one of the few mods, even in Radical Red, it's one of the few mods that can go a mixed set if you wanted to. So thanks to its already pretty decent attack stat, you can go something like Iron Defense, Body Press, Draco Meteor, Stealth Rock. Um, that would be pretty viable in certain situations. Heavy Slam too. If with heavy metal, it does a lot of damage. I'm trying to think. There was one other thing that Duraludon can do. Oh, you can do like a rest set. Like you can go Rest Talk, Iron Defense, Body Press. If they don't have a Ghost type or any poison types, you can just go to that and just go crazy. Especially if you're against a physical heavy team. But yeah, that's Duraludon. I'm really happy I got it. Like I said, I'm probably only ever going to be using a Violet on it. Maybe Chestoberry, depending on how matchups go. But yeah, let's move on to the sixth pick, which is going to be Scyther. I was about to pick Fearow. Fearow also got a pretty decent buff, but Scyther can be made bulky with a Violet. It also gets Technician, as we mentioned before, and boosts 60 BP by 50%. And Dual Wing Beat got a buff. It's now 100% accurate, so that's pretty much always going to be what it's using. It can also use Swords Dance, so Swords Dance Dual Wing Beat, it's going to be under a Technician boost. Oof, it's going to be a lot of damage, and I'm looking forward to that if it ever comes to it. It also gets quite a few moves. It gets Bug Bite. It's probably its strongest offensive bug move that's boosted by Technician as well. It also eats the opposing berry. Berries are pretty rare in singles, though. I don't expect it to do much like that, but it's an option to have. Pounce to help reduce enemy speed. It's a bug type 80 BP move that reduces speed by 1. U-turn is very nice to have, especially since I already have 2 other foot turners in Rotom and Floatzel. Close combat, a bug getting a move that can deal with steel types is pretty nice. It gets close combat to deal with them. It also gets Rock Smash, which is a 60 BP move that's boosted by Technician that has a chance. I believe it's 40 or 50% chance to lower the defense of the mon by 1, which is pretty nice. But chances are I'll probably just be running close combat because it's just immediate high heavy power. Knockoff Pursuit is also in the game. Pursuit is an older move that used to be in the games before they removed it. It is a 40 base power move, dark type move, that if the enemy Pokemon tries to switch, Pursuit will chase after it and still do damage. And I believe the damage is boosted a little bit. It's pretty much a Psychic's worst nightmare. Psychic and Ghost types cry about it. After they removed it, Ghost types kind of went crazy in the singles area. Yeah, they also need a little bit of a nerf because they've been going a little wild this generation, especially. Trailblaze to give its grass coverage towards water types. Again, if those pesky Swamperts or Gastrodons are in the way, you just click Trailblaze and sit on them and laugh the whole time. Psycho Cut to deal with poison types. Bug Stab does not work well against poison, so Psycho Cut's there. Oh, also it can also hit fighting types, but we have Dual Wing Beam for that, so that's whatever. Maybe if they're on the switch and we're not sure what they're doing. In Radical Red, Cut is a 75 base power steel type move. So if they have a fairy type that's being annoying, I can hit it with Cut and it just dies. Quick Attack, pretty nice with Technician boosted, especially under Swords Dance. It's going to be great. Swords Dance, as we mentioned, and it gets Defog. Defog is, like I said, it works well with Glalie. It puts pressure off of Rotom to be the only defogger, and it allows a little bit of pressure off of Hitmonchan as well, in case I were to lose Hitmonchan. Hitmonchan is pretty frail, especially against physical types, so if it goes down, I have Scyther and Rotom Heat in the back ready to help out Rayleigh if needed with Defog. Due to its atrocious typing, though, I don't think I will be using Eviolite much, unless I see they don't have a Stealth Rock Center, then I would be using Eviolite Source Dance. But yeah, it could be a better typing. Bug Flying is really bad. It gets hit by so many things. It sucks. But anyways, let's move on to our 7th pick. This is technically the last pick. I have 8 Pokemon. The 8th one, does not count, and you'll see why after this. But it's Ludicolo. Ludicolo is honestly one of my favorite Pokemon. I really like it. It's goofy. It just wants to dance. And Radical Red, the sprite, it looks like he's so done with it. I tried to find a PNG of it, but I couldn't find one, so I just used the default one. But he just looks so tired of everyone like telling him what to do, and it was just so goofy. Uh, its two abilities, Swift Swim and Rain Dish, they're not. Swift Swim isn't bad, but it's more of a double swing. I don't like I said, Drizzle is banned, so I can't do like a Drizzle. I can't do like a small little rain team with this. That's whatever though. It gets own tempo, prevents confusion, intimidate. We don't care about intimidate. Preventing confusion can come in clutch at times, I guess. Its special attack stat was buffed from 90 to 100, so that's pretty nice. And best of all, it gets Scald. Scald, I have won games just off Scald burns. It is stupid how strong this move is. I'm honestly surprised it's not even nerfed in Radical Red. It's really, really strong. It's an 80 base power water move that has a 30% chance to burn. So, yeah, that's really nice to have. Like I said, I've won games off Scald burns just because like the opponent will switch in and I hit Scald, and Scald will hit everything. You can't. It's not immune unless you're Water Absorb or Storm Drain. And if you get hit by it and you get burned, you're pretty much gone. If you're a physical type, you're out of the game. You have to spam so much Swords Dance just to get out of that. It also gets Energy Ball. Energy Ball is a 90 base power grass move. It's pretty straightforward. It hits. I think it lowers its special defense by 10%. It has a 10% chance to lower special defense, which is nice. Giga Drain is super nice. It helps keep Ludicolo in the game longer. It will threaten ground and water types really well. It's a water grass type, so those types already don't want to be in front of it. But Giga Drain's there to just make sure, like, hey, if I hit you with this, it's not going to be fun, and I will restore a lot of HP. Ice Beam is its most common coverage move. Flash is on here, so Flash in Radical Red is a 60 base power electric move that can lower attack, and by can lower attack, it's guaranteed to lower attack. It's pretty niche. Maybe if I'm against a Swanna who did get buffed itself, I just click Flash and it just gets knocked out of the sky. It gets a Aura Sphere. I'm not really sure when I would use this though. Maybe against a Probo Pass. It's an option at least. It's probably not something I'm gonna really use much because Scald already hits everything so well. Knockoff is nice as a filler move if I suspect they're gonna switch into something, say they have like a Chansey or Blissey, they could sit on top of Ludicolo, but if they switch into that, I can just click knock off and remove their items. Chansey losing Violite is pretty bad. Blissey losing probably heavy duty boots or just assault vest or whatever it likes to do. Not assault vest, leftovers, whatever it wants, it's gone too. Leech Seed and Toxic. Leech Seed is self-explanatory. For those that don't know, it's a grass type move where if it lands on an enemy Pokemon, it saps its health away until it switches out. So that's good for pressuring. Combined with Giga Drain, it can just keep itself going, its longevity if they decide to stay in. And Toxic for those Pokemon that might be annoying. Say Turtonator is a fire dragon type, so it's probably going to take some okay damage with Ice Beam, but Toxic's there to like whittle it down. Also whittle down Chansey or Blissey. They do get Natural Cure, but if in the case that it's like the last Pokemon, at least Toxic will be able to deal with it. Our final pick, yeah, I forgot it does not get first impression in Radical Red. It doesn't, even Flygon doesn't get it. I thought maybe it was moved to Flygon. No, it just doesn't get it whatsoever. So I had 1 point left, and this is a 1 point mon. I would have probably picked Spinarak if I knew it didn't get first impression, because at least Spinarak can just throw in like webs and maybe one toxic spike if I'm lucky, and then just like die, and then they have webs on their side of the field that they got to get rid of, or they got to deal with it, which would come in handy for Mega Glalie. Mega Glalie has a speed stat of 100, but it's not bad for low tier. It could be better though, but it's whatever. But yeah, he's just a mascot. He will not be coming to any game at all. Arena Trap's banned. He has no use. Maybe I can do like a Scarf set and hope someone has like a Pokemon slower than 20 base speed if I go Scarf. But yeah, that's poor Trap Mage. No, it wouldn't even hit 20. It'd be like 15. Oh god, yeah. I played myself there, but whatever. It was a lot. It was just 1 point, so I'm not losing sleep over it. So here's the whole team. The team overview. I'm pretty happy with what I have. The problem is that I only had 90 points to spend, and I can only pick 8 Mons, so I wasn't able to get a Ghost type. A Fairy type, it kind of sucked not getting one, but whatever. I have Glalie to hit Dragons really hard. Like Dark types and Fighting types don't also really want to sit on Glalie. Maybe some made like thick fat Hariyama. But yeah, Mega Glaze, it does a lot of damage that Fairy would do as well, especially towards Dragon types. Uh, I don't have a poison type either. That was kind of annoying because if someone says Toxic Spikes, I do have several ways of getting rid of it, but it's just another thing I have to worry about. Click Defog, Rapid Spin, whatever. We still have Heavy Duty Boots, so that's fine too. I don't have a Psychic type. For some reason, I just saw this too. It's Rotom Heat is showing as Rotom Frost. If I were to switch Rotom Heat to Rotom Wash, it would show it as Heat then. I don't know why. That might have thrown me off a little bit when I was making the scene, but whatever, we made it work. Anyways, that's pretty much the end of the video. This is my first time making something like this, so I apologize if it sounds a little weird at times or if I'm slipping my words. I kind of did this off script. I tried writing a script and that just didn't work out for me, so I said, we'll just do it live. So yeah, I plan on making a video on my prep. I already played my week 1 game. It went pretty well. I will make a video on that. It's probably going to be shorter than this. I'm going to go over my prep. I'm going to go over what the enemy team is, and then what I was worried about, what I built for, and I'm going to show my paste, and then I will show the replay on what went down and my thoughts on what was happening. But yeah, thank you so much if you made it this far, thank you so much for sticking around. I greatly appreciate it. If you want to subscribe, you can. I don't expect this channel to take off as much as, say, Wolfglick. There's no way. But I enjoyed doing this and looking up the research. Like I said, I learned something new when I was doing this. I learned that Hitmonchan gets Jet Punch. That's going to come in handy. But yeah, I really enjoyed doing this. If you leave a like and subscribe, I will make more. My next video on like this will probably be VGC related, and that's something I'm really comfortable with. I'm looking forward to that. The main VGC Discord I'm in is only 2 weeks away from finishing until playoffs start, and then that's like another month. So that probably won't happen for a month and a half. Maybe I'll get lucky if they start up early. But yeah, thank you so much for sticking around, and you guys have a nice one. Bye-bye.